Tarik Skubal's next scheduled start is Wednesday when the Tigers take on the Baltimore Orioles. Will he make that start as scheduled with the Tigers? Mark Feinsand from MLB.com joins us with the latest reckless speculation on the Tarik Skubal trade market. Mark, your best instincts tell you what as far as his destination after next Monday?
If you can predict what the Tigers are going to do on the field for the next 5 or 6 days, that will help me determine that answer. I'm still not sure he's going to get traded to begin with. So I think how the Tigers perform in these next series or two leading up to next Monday, rather, will determine whether or not he's even on the block. Now, if he is on the block, I think you're going to hear about 3 teams that are going to be really heavy in on him. One is the Dodgers, because it's always the Dodgers. And the other 2 are teams that you don't normally hear about going after the big fish. But I think the Brewers and the Rays are going to be really heavy in on Skubal. They've both got the prospect capital to get him if they decide they want him. He's not, as an impending free agent, yeah, he's going to make about $10 million over the last couple months of the season. But you can handle that for 2 months. It's not signing him to a $400 million deal. And both of these teams understand that they have a real chance to make noise in the playoffs this year, and adding a big ace at the top of their rotation would help them each go a long way.
All 3 of those destinations are fascinating. I know that there was Dodgers discussion for him back in 2024 around this time of year. And as far as the Brewers buying, it would remind some of us of 08 when CC Sabathia went there after the deadline and changed the trajectory of the Brewers. Let's change teams and hit you on the New York Yankees. Has their agenda changed at all with the news of Cody Bellinger's injury, which might actually be a little bit longer than initially feared? And where are they shopping?
Yeah, I believe the latest report was he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks, which I think will change how they approach this. There wasn't a thought of them going out on the market to try to replace Aaron Judge, because you simply can't replace Aaron Judge. Replacing Bellinger might be difficult as well, but not as difficult. So I think right now they were looking at catcher and bullpen as being their 2 biggest needs. Now all of a sudden there's a need for an outfielder, unless they really feel confident in Spencer Jones taking that spot, which it's hard to imagine that they do. So I think scouring the outfield market will be on Brian Cashman's agenda. The biggest problem he's going to have as of today is that there's really only 6 teams that are sort of out there as sellers, because there are 24 teams within about 5.5 games of a playoff spot. So if you look at those 6 teams, maybe he'll look at the Rockies and look at like a Jake McCarthy or a Mickey Moniak and say they can maybe fill the gap until Bellinger comes back. There aren't a ton of options right now, but I think 4 or 5 days from now, when there may be a little more clarity based on how some of these bubble teams play this week, some more names could enter the fray.
Before we talk about the Mariners, I want to ask about Seattle. I want to follow up with this Yankee thing, because we've been hearing Ryan Jeffers as a potential fit there. Is it just because this makes sense on paper? Look, the Twins are only 3.5 out. Do we think that the Twins are going to be selling like last year when they shed themselves of 9 players at the deadline? I don't know that it's a certainty this year. They could still win the division.
As of today, I would say the Twins are more leaning towards buying than selling. So I don't think that Jeffers is on the table right now. Now, again, a bad 4 or 5 days and they find themselves 5 games out. Jeffers, Joe Ryan, there could be guys who do go on the market. I don't think they are right now. I think that one of the reasons we're hearing so much about Jeffers, there aren't that many catchers out there, right? Shea Langoliers is now out for the season, it looks like. Hunter Goodman is not getting traded unless a team goes out there and just makes a huge offer that I don't think the Yankees are going to be making. So you're looking at guys like Jonah Heim with the A's. You're looking at Tyler Stevenson with the Reds. And Jeffers would probably be the best of that bunch. But right now, I don't think the Twins are a surefire seller. So adding a catcher right now is going to be really tricky because there aren't that many that are available.
So on to Seattle. They lost for the 3rd time in 4 games in Arlington today, having a hard time generating lineup productivity. Is this finally the year that they're willing to deal starting pitching in return for a bat?
Well, I think that would certainly be their hope. And the guy who they're hoping to trade is the one at the bottom of that list right there. Luis Castillo, still a very good pitcher, even though he's not having a great year. He does make a lot of money. Daniel Kramer, my colleague at MLB.com, just reported that the Mariners are willing to eat some of that money to get a legitimate return. I was also told earlier there's a chance that they could attach a prospect to Castillo to try to get a legitimate return and to have a team take on that money. So I think they're going to try to get creative in moving Castillo. They need offense. They need some bullpen help. And the American League West is right there for the taking for them. So I think there are very few people who I trust to get creative when it comes to trades the way Jerry Dipoto does. So I'm certainly watching Seattle in the next 5-6 days.
We know we're going to see some deals in the next week leading up to next Monday's deadline. Here's the question, though, Mark. Will we see a blockbuster, something that knocks our socks off?
Unless it involves the guy we talked about at the top of this segment, Tarik Skubal, I'm not so sure we will. The teams that we know are sellers don't really have that blockbuster star to trade. I know the Mets have Lindor. I don't see that happening. The Padres, we've talked about them being, 2 games out of a playoff spot. Mason Miller's name has come up a lot. I just don't see that happening because if you think about what the Padres gave up to get Mason Miller last year, A.J. Preller might be the only GM in baseball or president of baseball operations in baseball willing to give up a top 5 prospect in the game for a closer who's going to pitch 60 innings for you. Now, Miller's dominant. He's the best closer in the game. He's under control for 3 more years. But I don't know that they're going to be able to get that kind of return for him that Preller was willing to give up. And I don't know that Preller's going to look to trade him if they are a game or 2 out of a playoff spot. That's not his DNA. So right now, would I say that there's a blockbuster non-Skubal category in the making? No, but we've been surprised before. All it takes is a team losing 6 in a row between now and Sunday to all of a sudden reassess how they want to handle the deadline.
We'll see how it all plays out during the week. Mark, appreciate the visit. Mark Feinsand from MLB.com.